Going on? It's Kaz, and today I want to talk to you about the Virtual Boy. Now, real quick, obviously, I'm going to show you footage from the Nintendo Direct because I can't record, right? I obviously can't show you 3D, so just kind of FYI. Now, let's talk about tech specs first. So, from what I can tell, all the games run at 50 frames per second, and that's exactly what they were running on the original console. So, it's nice that they brought that back. It would have been nice if they could have, made it run a little bit quicker, but I don't know. Maybe these games were, hard coded to run specifically at 50 FPS and changing it would break the game. So I'm not sure. Now, one thing I also want to call out is you can change the IPD and you can also increase and decrease the screen size as well. So the minute you put on the accessory and you see that 3D effect, if it doesn't it doesn't quite look right, you can customize it, which is really nice. Now, my first thoughts, it's crazy to think that Nintendo had this 3D, VR technology back in 1995, right? It's just wild that you just had a console, without glasses. It would just show you the entire 3D stereoscopic effect. It's just crazy. One thing that I also noticed is they do have a great game selection at the start. You get a good mix of different genres you can kind of play around with and toy with. Now, the one thing I do wish you could have is I do wish you could change the color of the games to a different color, similar to how, I don't know if you remember how Game Boy games or Game Boy Color allows you to change the color and kind of select different sprites. I kind of wish Virtual Boy would do that. So imagine it, instead of using red, I use like a light blue or the original Game Boy green. Would be kind of sick. That's the only thing I wish it had. Now, I did hear about a couple of complaints that people wish they could play the games without the accessories, but I gotta tell you, I disagree. I like the fact that Nintendo is forcing you to use the accessory because I think they want you to play these games the way they were originally intended, right? With a 3D effect. If you take that 3D effect away, it's going to be hard to tell, right, what's happening. Like, for example, Red Alarm, that flying game, without that 3D effect, it might be a little difficult here. So, see this game? You see lines everywhere. It'll be a little difficult to kind of tell what's what. So, I kind of agree with Nintendo. I'm glad they're making you, play with it with the accessory. So, you get a really good feel of how the game should be played. So, it's consuming art the way it was designed, I think. So, I'm a fan of that. I also like how Nintendo gives you two options for the accessories. There's that $100 original old school helmet that comes with it, but you also get a $25 cardboard version along with it. So I get it, $100 is kind of a lot for a lot of people. So it's cool that they added more than one option. Wait, hold up, pause. Do you see what's on the screen? So I guess I missed this. I guess I got my wish. You are going to have the ability to change the color in the future. They just haven't released it. All right, that's pretty cool. That's a big plus. One more thing I also want to point out is the sound. So the sound is great. It's very punchy, it's very crisp. So as you're playing these games, you kind of get immersed with the soundtrack along with it. So that's also a big plus. Overall, I'm just really happy with Nintendo. I think they did a really good job of releasing this accessory into these games. These games are getting it very expensive on eBay. The original console and the original games are like extremely pricey. So the fact that you could buy $100 accessory and then subscribe to these games, I just think is awesome. So it's a big win for those that didn't get the chance to try that tech, right? So I'm just happy. Anyways, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.